is there any more room for philosophy in those jeans? We're back again at Casa de Groves. With my main man Marcel on the right side. We got a very special guest in the house. Bro Nim showed up live from Chicago. Main man Alex Britton is in the house. We're gonna throw out some philosophy. I really have no idea what we're gonna talk about, fellas.
Do we ever?
Not really, but
I'm gonna defer to you guys because this is like a philosophy 101 for me. Which camera's mine? This is like I'm a humble guest, okay? This is really like a dream come true. I just got to get that out of the way first because I'm such a fan of the pod.
Yeah.
I've watched every episode.
Every episode.
Like, could you? I couldn't even imagine.
You're not even a subscriber though, are you?
I am subscribed.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I subscribe absolutely. You just pop up in my feed every new episode, and it'd be like I couldn't imagine going on like the Kelsey Brothers podcast or something. I mean, this is just like, and here I am. It's like somebody pinch me.
Well, hey man, we appreciate all the support we do.
There's a timer. You got this and the set. I am a little disappointed that we're not on the normal set, which I assume is at your place, Marcel.
Yes. Yeah. On the floor. You wanted to be on the floor.
It's pretty iconic, just with the flag that I have to assume is from like a Japanese gay pride parade.
See, that's what I thought too.
Yeah. It looks like E Honda's gonna come out and give me the fastest hand job I've ever. I mean, it's like, it's bold. It's bold, and it's really an iconic set piece. You got like the wheel on Wheel of Fortune, Johnny Carson's desk, and you got that fucking flag.
The flag on RomeBros.
And it's just like, you know exactly what you're in store for. But I think you're gonna bring that same level of quality today. I'm gonna try my best not to get in the way. On that note, please, whenever you're ready, Darius.
Well, okay. Well, I thought that it would be cool. Like, when we were still reading the questions, if we just put, like, 2 minutes on the clock, and you just introduce yourself to the audience, like, give us a little bit of background on Alex Britton. So
when do we start talking about dead women?
We stopped talking about dead.
Do you think it's time to retire that from every episode description? You guys give off kind of murdery vibes enough already. Maybe we should just take that out. I mean,
look, we're looking to get back to it.
Yeah. Okay, all right. I'm just saying.
We're in the hot seat this morning.
Oh,
right. Okay. All right. 2 minutes on the clock. Whatever. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Boom. All right. Who are you?
I'm Alex Oliver.
Shit.
First of all, that's okay.
Shit.
FKA. Alex Britton.
Rock and
roll, currently known as Rock and Roll Randy. Yes, thank you. But maybe it's better if maybe I've already divulged too much. I should keep it a little closer to my chest, like Marcel does. Yeah. Marcel wouldn't even give me his last name when I walked in here today, folks. But that's cool. That's a guy who's got an air of mystery about him. I've always been an open book, and I've always tried to project this much like more mysterious image. Anyway, I digress. Alex Oliver, from Chicago, Illinois. Roots right here in the great state of Missouri. Born and raised in California. I'm a man of the world. And apparently I've been dubbed Rock and Roll Randy. That's because I've been known to play a little guitar. I've been known to play full-size guitars as well. I got that joke from Jason Poe. Thanks, Jason.
It was over my head. That was a bar, man. I didn't catch it first either.
All right, sorry, Jason. It didn't land as well as when you tell it.
No, that's on us.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
A little guitar versus a full-size guitar?
No, I actually play full-size guitar. Because, like, never.
You'll have to explain to me after this minute's up. I'm not following.
With those fucking paws, every guitar feels little to Marcel. Look at those. Look at those.
What? I'm still lost.
Are you gonna palm? Let's palm some basketballs. Do you have a basketball, Darius?
I don't. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, that's about like 90% of my plan for this episode out the window. I thought we were gonna be palming basketballs, but whatever.
Damn.
What else do you want to know? Have I said?
Ill-prepared.
Oh man, the clock's almost up. I barely said my name.
Yeah.
Look, I am a fan. Darius is my brother-in-law. Marcel, I just met this guy, but I'm very intrigued by him. Looking forward to get to know him better over the course of this episode, and that's about it.
All right.
Clock hit 0.
Okay. All right. No, that was fucking perfect.
Okay, hold on. Explain the guitar. What is it between a little guitar and a
I said I've been known to play a little guitar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And a full-size one as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's like right up your alley,
Play
man.
on words.
That is. I don't know how I whiffed that.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Hey.
Thanks, Marcel.
Okay, well, speaking of guitar, that's a good place to start.
music is a common bond
Yeah.
between us.
Yeah, definitely.
And I know from having been an avid viewer of the show, it occasionally comes. I do hope we get a chance to talk about pop culture, touch on some subjects.
Okay.
Even though I know philosophy is the main theme.
We can maybe find a way to make it
Because
circle back.
I'm intrigued by. I want to talk about what happened on a previous episode. Eagle-eyed viewers will remember you discussed a song called "Let the Good Times Roll."
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we were like we.
And I feel
like
that was it. It's several songs. It was kind of a little up in the air, though. I don't feel like it was ever fully resolved.
I think we resolved it off.
Did you? I'd like to revisit that because I felt, as a viewer, and I'm sure I'm not alone out there, because we've confirmed there's 4 or 5.
Yeah, there's like singles. You know.
That's big. I think we're all dying to know, and I'm here as like an analog for the other viewers.
Okay.
Let me just ask you this, Mr. Analog.
Yeah.
Why haven't you ever sent us an email or left a comment?
So
your concerns.
Like you, I like to maintain a certain level of anonymity online, and so that's why I kind of lurk. I did subscribe. I am subscribed, but yeah, I withhold my likes. I withhold my comments, and really it paid off because now here I am.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like I made you guys work.
I mean, we would have had you could have just sent us an email and been like, "Can I be on the show?" And we've been like, "Sure."
What's the email address?
It's in every description, Mister. I read the description every
okay.
episode.
You're right.
Mister.
Oh shit.
I know. I do read. I read the dead women part. Have you gotten any?
That was still in
Yes.
You're still looking for an editor.
Yeah.
I know that, and I think that's really. I mean, I'm curious if you've gotten any nibbles from that.
No, we haven't gotten a single email.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about one guy though, right? Remember?
Did I talk about that on the podcast?
Yeah, you did. Like the fucking. But he.
Yeah, the guy that said he was considered. Well, he asked for an editing gig. I told him I had an opportunity for him, and then he just ghosted me. So.
Yeah, that's too bad. I mean, obviously, let's come on, throw him a bone here, guys. I did see one on the last episode, or maybe it was one before that, the one when you got back from Hawaii, which I'd like to touch on as well. You, you didn't realize what a super fan I was, did you?
No, I really didn't.
There was a cut at one point. You were okay, well, because
it's a pause, yeah.
It was a pause, yeah. And I was like, okay. But
Did you see what we did with the pause, though? Were you a keen-eyed viewer to see what was different before and after the pause?
Oh, I don't remember. What was it? You'll have to remind me.
No, it's a little. You have to go back.
I will.
I don't even fucking remember.
I will. I'm waiting for the box. I'm waiting for the DVD box set.
About it. I'm not gonna say it because he's got to find it.
Well,
you know it. You just have to remind me.
My point is, you guys asking for an editor is like a guy who just took a bunch of hostages, asking for a helicopter.
A helicopter,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's I'm gonna shoot these fucking hostages if you don't land a helicopter on the roof and take me to to Nicaragua or something. And it's it's desperate is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The situation is dire. That one cut is the most. I mean, I don't even know if this mic actually works. You know, I'm impressed. I'm impressed by this. I didn't realize that you're gonna have this giant. I mean, this is all real peek behind the curtain here.
Yeah,
This is
how the
inside
sausage
baseball.
is made. Yeah,
it's pretty wild. The webcam seems pretty on brand to me. But this brain here is. I mean, I haven't seen a tower like that. You must be a gamer, I presume.
Yes.
Is that what a gaming computer would?
Okay, if you've seen the podcast, I talk about gaming all the time.
It's true. No, that's true. But that sort of thing is tell me about Steam. How does Steam work? Or not Steam, Twitch. Is that Twitch?
Which one? They're very different things.
Okay, Twitch. That's where people go and they play games, right?
Yeah, it's just a streaming platform.
Do you ever do that?
I've done it a couple of times, but
yeah.
I mean, it's not enjoyable to stream without viewers talking to you, and since I'm not popular, I have no viewers, so.
You'll get there, Marcel.
No, I won't.
You
I don't have the time. I got a podcast to run.
There's a groundswell. There's a groundswell happening. I can feel it.
Of Twitch streamers.
I mean, I think it'd be cool if we got big enough that we could stream our episodes on Twitch.
That'd be fun.
Now, is there a Lego equivalent for Twitch? Because you guys are leading the charge when it comes to that.
I feel
the competition at Twitch. They've got Kick, which is where the people who do bad things go. The druggies and the take advantage of women people go.
Kick?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kick.
okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
called
maybe we
Kick.
should
Don't-
get
no,
on.
don't- no.
Get on
No.
Kick, man.
Yeah.
We're not going on
Sounds
Kick.
like that's where the party's at.
I mean, I guess you could say that.
Catch me
And-
follow me at Rock and Roll Randy on Kick. I'll be streaming live immediately after this episode.
And then YouTube has a streaming platform as well. Well, they just YouTube.
Sure.
You can stream on YouTube.
Sure,
So.
yeah. You guys should do a live stream one of these days.
That's what I was saying. We should stream it on.
Yeah, that would be fun. And then I'll engage with that.
Yeah?
I will. Yeah,
I
you can
mean,
bet.
that'd be cool.
I'll be tuning in. I'll be leaving comments. It'll be very interactive. Instagram as well. You should go on IG Live.
No.
Why
man.
not?
I ain't doing.
That's where all
Look,
the
I got
parties
no
are, man.
social media other
That's
than
where the-
YouTube.
Yeah, this wouldn't be Marcel's social media. This would be RomeBros social media.
Nah,
We're building
no.
a brand here, Marcel.
Look, we do have a marketing team.
We do have a marketing team.
Oh.
And
Pierre?
they have been.
No, she works with us. Or, well,
Oh.
she used to work with us.
Uh-huh.
We're all, like, going in separate directions now. Which is
But
kinda
she has
sad.
been tasked with making social media accounts
Yeah.
and posting clips, the
Oh.
snippets.
That's fun.
And she hasn't done any of that, so.
Well, we talked about it that one time. Maybe it's just, like, we gotta...
I remind her like every day that she's
Revisit.
the marketing team. I don't know what more I can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my dad's calling. He's probably wondering why I'm parked in his driveway.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, Dad. You'll have to wait and watch the episode.
I mean, he
Yeah,
might
we can
need to-
pause.
Try and answer. Try and answer.
He might need to
You can-
park.
No,
put
this
it on
is good.
speaker.
This is good. This is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, put it on speaker.
We're doing it live.
Let nobody's live.
Hey, Dad.
Hey,
Hey.
hey, there's a strange car in my driveway.
Nicole told me I could park there.
I didn't think you guys would be back this soon. Don't blame me.
Sorry. Am I in your way?
Just a little bit, yeah.
I can move it.
That's all right. We're podcasting. You're live on the pod.
Yeah, welcome.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if Nicole said so, then it must have been okay.
That was my assumption. Okay, sorry. We'll come get it. We'll come get it moved. All right. Bye.
Okay, bud.
Can you guys pause?
Do we need to?
Well, yeah, she's gonna go out the door and then he's gonna wig out.
We'll be right back,
Yeah,
folks.
technical difficulties.
Right back. Alright, folks, we're gonna have Alex do the coolest cool walk he can on frame. Here he comes. That was pretty cool.
That was pretty
Let us
fucking
know in
cool,
the comments below, out of 10,
Yeah,
how cool was that? I'm gonna have to give it an 8.
11.
I'll take it. Well, all right. If you split the difference, I
Yeah.
think I did pretty good there.
There you go.
Pretty impressive.
And you'll also notice, eagle-eyed viewers again, with that what I assume was a very seamless edit.
There's a pause. There was no
Pause.
editing.
Call it an edit. Give yourself a little credit, Marcel.
I hit one button.
Pause. You're diminishing your abilities by just calling it a simple pause.
That's all it was.
But now I had a hat on, and now I don't.
Oh shit. There
Oh,
might be some other changes
magic
for
of-
keen-eyed viewers.
Of television. Oh, did you do something else? Now
Possibly, or maybe not.
I have
Maybe I'm
to
just
spot the
throwing you
difference when I'm watching at home and when I'm sitting right here. Guys, I feel like I came in a little too hot before, alright? I'm going to try to take it down a notch. I'm sorry.
There's no direction.
You're like 25% of our viewership. So if you like what you did, then you're doing great. So
I just don't want to mess with the tone of the show because there is a certain magic here. Alright?
well,
I think you're.
That
only
I'd like
half
to
the
preserve.
I want to ask you, Alex, what is your favorite episode?
My favorite episode. Gosh, well, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I usually skip through most of the ones where you're playing video games, but that's just because I'm not a gamer. I know there's a big audience for that. Okay, I'm sure it's very enjoyable. I'm unfamiliar with these games.
Hold on a second here. How many episodes are we playing video games in?
There have been a few.
yeah,
At
with
least, yeah.
Baldur's Gate.
There's been one.
No, there's been more than that.
We did more than one.
I've only posted one. I'm
No,
pretty sure.
I think it was either when I had COVID or another one where you did upload the other Baldur's Gate we had in the can, and then two, I think
Did I?
what you might be thinking about was when we were on the Discord call and we had the one game
Oh.
going on.
that was probably it. Yeah.
That was-
Again, it all looks
and which
the
that-
same
yeah,
to me.
and those 2 episodes of that as well. So that's
And-
probably
Yeah.
Okay, so we have 4.
yeah. And then we did the Smasher Pass, which was pretty much video game chicks.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That was fun. Yeah.
Okay.
That was fun.
We'll continue that.
But I enjoyed the one. There was one you did after you got back from coming to visit me in Chicago over the summer.
Oh yeah.
Where you were talking about your experience. So of course I enjoyed that because
Yeah,
I got a shout out.
Right.
But also that was one of the first examples of one of my favorite things about the show is when you make some pop culture reference, and then it's interesting just to see what if anything it kind of like how it resonates with Marcel. Like you mentioned Janet Jackson,
Okay.
who we went and saw when we were in Chicago.
Yeah.
Fantastic icon for decades. Marcel had no idea who she was,
Still have no idea.
which is fine. You mentioned Michael Jackson,
Yeah.
arguably the biggest superstar the planet has ever known. Marcel barely knew who he was.
Barely. I know who Michael Jackson. He's the hee-hee guy.
That's it, which is exactly what you saw in that episode
Great
too.
way.
Yeah. So like this, like a caricature of Michael Jackson, which is fine because he was a very, he did become kind of a parody of himself. In
Yeah,
many ways.
especially towards the end there.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, do you know any Michael Jackson songs?
He did the Thriller, right?
Okay, great. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. That's probably his biggest song, which is fine.
Yeah.
That's fine if that's all you
I'm
know.
like a professional song guy.
I don't know anything about video games, and I'm okay with that. That's a big gap in knowledge for me, and I know they're a huge cultural phenomenon. I know Super Mario Brothers. I know anything past like the Nintendo 64.
Okay,
is
yeah,
kind
because I was
of,
gonna they're like fucking Revenge and NWO versus WCW.
oh sure,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
But that's also
That's 64. Though.
yeah. But is that really? Do I know the game or just do I know professional wrestling? You know
Oh,
what I
okay,
mean?
so yeah, your wrestling
Yeah.
fandom is what.
Exactly,
Yeah,
because
okay.
I think I was a wrestling fan first, and yes, the gameplay was very enjoyable.
Yeah.
No doubt about it, but I think it was because of the characters involved and the lore behind it, which I had already been like very
Invested.
into up
Yeah.
to that point. Yeah.
That was
But now you got me reconsidering everything. I guess that's what the RomeBros do.
okay, but like, well, fuck culture. Like, that does take us into something a little topical. I don't know if you guys, they made this big to-do about wrestling moving to Netflix.
Right.
And they trotted Hulk Hogan out there, thinking like, everybody like, oh, we're happy to see Hulk Hogan, but they were in California, so they booed the shit out of Hulk Hogan, man, and like, everybody was like, but I guess it lends to that, like, you either die a hero or live long enough to become a villain. But is there anybody that's been that super famous, but then in the twilight of their life, they're just, like, a fucking pariah like that? Like, is there another example?
People.
But, like, to that degree, though?
Where we point?
Oh, well, yeah, I'm dressed as one. I'm dressed... Okay, so that... For Halloween one year... okay, so... Talia, is she into True Blood? Have you ever heard her mention that?
No.
Like, well, it's a vampire novel that became a show. We were really into the show, but the two characters on True Blood were Sookie and Bill. But Bill is an older white guy, so I thought it would be funny if I would be a different Bill. So I chose Bill Cosby.
Oh, yeah.
But that's another guy that was like America's sweetheart.
There's a lot of people that have just fallen off a cliff.
But like Hogan,
there's a ton of streamers out there who got caught on like sexual assault allegations or child pornography.
But I'm saying to be
beloved streamers.
A big name like a Bill Cosby, a Hulk Hogan, like Hulk Hogan, like even if you didn't know wrestling, like he was like a fucking.
You do know
he
Hulk
was
Hogan.
he was in everybody's household, and like he can't even appear on a wrestling show getting around.
Well, and I think pro wrestling fans are maybe a little more, for lack of a better term, woke than they get credit for too.
Oh yeah.
I think I'd be curious to see how that reception would have gone, even like down south somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have been very.
Well, in
very
comparison, though, like I post a lot of I do a lot of arguing on a wrestling forum, and like people feel like Chris Benoit should be in the Hall of Fame. You know, there's people that
that's
also
interesting.
like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you don't know who Chris
That's
Benoit is,
interesting.
he had roid rage and murdered his wife and son. But like people are still willing to be like, hey man, you can separate that. But like Hulk Hogan,
you can't. Yeah.
Okay, hold on, hold on.
Objectively, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
Wait a minute. There's a Hall of Fame for professional wrestling?
Yeah, dude. Like it's
What
been
how do
around
they,
since like the 20s.
If
man.
all these things are scripted, how do they? Is it just like how good you are at acting, or is it
Well,
like
yeah,
how
okay.
good you are at winning?
Okay, so to be considered a good professional wrestler, you have to build your body to
Okay.
you have a great body,
Fair enough.
and then to be a good not necessarily an actor, but to be charismatic enough to have a microphone and talk people into wanting to see the match that's going to happen in a few weeks. You know, not everybody can do that. You can't just give some Joe Blow that off the streets a microphone and say, hey, make 20,000 people show up down the road in a month.
And there's plenty of you can see plenty of examples of the opposite of that, because there have been wrestlers throughout time who are terrible at doing promos.
Oh yeah,
and it's very noticeable when you see someone who's not. You think maybe it's not that hard, but when you see someone who is bad at it, you're like, oh, this is hard to watch.
Yeah, watch fucking Jake the Snake be on the microphone, and then watch Scott Steiner be on the microphone.
Scott Steiner famously bad at it.
Yeah, he's so bad he's good.
So it's just whoever made the most money for the company they're got a contract with?
Well, made the most money, sold the most merchandise, but there's certain, okay, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, right?
Yeah.
He was so good as a wrestler that he was able to cross over and be in movies. Other wrestlers have tried, but that doesn't really work out. It's not a easy thing to do.
I'm just for me, a Hall of Fame is you're the best at the sport or the activity. I guess the activity in wrestling is
what do you
getting people
think
behind you.
What do you think qualifies you for the Rock and Roll Hall? Do you think the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is kind of silly as well, or do you think that there's actual quantifiable criteria that should earn someone a spot in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
I never really thought about that. I mean, I guess that is kind of a similar thing. It is pretty much just how much song you wrote, how much money you made.
Yeah, because it's not based on how talented a musician you actually are.
Oh yeah, because that's true.
Well, but if you're talented, presumably you would be able to get people to listen, right?
Well,
or
if
is
that
that
were
not
the
the
case,
case?
Yeah, but see,
I
most
don't think
popular
so.
doesn't equal most talented.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially as a fucking bitter rapper.
If that were true, we'd just all be listening to symphony orchestras would be number one, because those are the world class musicians.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
But it's there's a certain you got to have style and substance, and I think the same is true about wrestling. Yes, it obviously, as far as the outcome of it, a wrestler's career trajectory is heavily determined by just the way how the storyline goes, how the writers choose to write their storyline. But I do think there's certainly just a charismatic X factor that you need to have. That's just sort of innate. It's very hard to just kind of learn that sort of thing. And there is a technical aspect to it as well. Chris Benoit being a great example.
Yeah,
he was considered a more technical wrestler. Yes, again,
more. Okay, what does that mean?
Well, as opposed to somebody like Stone Cold who would just punch you in the face a bunch and kick you a bunch, Chris Benoit can fucking zip around you really quick and do a suplex and then turn that suplex into a submission hold. He was just really good at transitioning from move to move,
okay,
physically.
So, watching him do the execution.
Yeah, it's he's really fucking good at what he's doing. Yeah, as
Okay.
opposed to Steve Austin, he would just come out, curse everybody out, flip the bird, drink a beer, kick you in the stomach, and everybody goes nuts. It's a different.
By the way, Chris Benoit's wife, dead woman.
Hey,
Oh,
there you go.
shit.
There you go.
We did it.
We did
We've
it.
come full circle.
Yeah. So now we're back on topic.
Fuck yeah, man. But yeah, what Wrestling Hall of Fame. That's what we have.
Right.
But yeah, you have to be good at the actual physical aspect of it as well. Because even if you.
That said, obviously, huge scandal, and there are some pro athletes in okay, I don't want to say real sports because I do enjoy wrestling, but I understand the distinction.
Yeah.
Right.
One is obviously there's a certain level of fabrication happening, whereas baseball, basketball, what have you, there have been notable omissions from the Hall of Fame in those sports too for scandals, like Pete Rose being a famous example.
Barry Bonds,
yeah. Absolutely. So I get it, because at the end of the day, it is just kind of it's sort of a formality. It's about the pageantry, really, of it, than actually recognizing specific there's not a real strict list of criteria that earns you. It's kind of subjective. So so I get it. Yeah, Chris Benoit, obviously horrible. We don't I don't endorse it. I can't speak for the RomeBros.
we don't endorse child murder.
Or wife murder. murder.
Or a wife murder. Yeah.
Yeah, but he was great. If it was strictly like if we were looking at it objectively, yes,
Yeah. No.
definitely deserves
Yeah.
a spot. But I understand you don't want to like glorify
Yeah.
a monster.
Yeah.
That's pretty
much what he was.
pretty awful.
Yeah.
And this man, looking back at watching some of his old matches, you can see it in his eyes. There was always something very unsettling about him.
You know what made him great though?
He brought in he brought an intensity that like Chris Jericho was talking one time that they had a match together and like he accidentally messed up a spot or like a move that they were trying to do, and he said like after the show he was looking for him because they were riding together and he caught him in the fucking boiler room like doing hundreds of squats to punish himself for messing up the spot. Like Chris Benoit was fucking nuts, man.
Yeah.
Like,
man, what's going on up in Canada? You'd think they seem like such affable people.
Yeah.
He's Canadian.
Yeah, like but like that's where a lot of the greats, man, like Edge, Bret Hart,
the whole Hart family.
Yeah. Fucking
Dynasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, wild.
Yeah. I thought I had something that I wanted to segue to.
Well, I was wondering, you were talking about how the lore of wrestling made you like that wrestling game. Have you watched Arcane, the show, and gotten to the lore of League of Legends at all?
I have not.
Okay.
Do you think I should? Do you think
It's a damn good show, man.
Yeah.
I
Okay, wait. Explain. Start from the beginning. What's our?
I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah, but
But what's our? So one is a game and another's a show based on the game.
Yeah.
The game League of Legends
Okay.
came out fucking like forever ago. I think it's been 15 years. It came out like 2010.
Yeah.
It's an old ass game, but they update it very regularly. They update it like every 2 weeks, and it's grown. It's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, games out there. It's just absolutely massive now, and the team behind it has like 4 spin-off games, and they just relatively recently made a show called Arcane, set in the same universe as the game. Wonderful show. Anyone who, even if you don't play the game, highly recommend it. Great show. We talk about it on the podcast all the time. I don't know how you don't remember this. Or don't know what
I
we're
probably
talking
tune
about.
the game. I tune out during the game stuff.
We're talking the show though. It's not the game. Anyways, they made a show about the game. Really good show. Not that I would ever recommend you get into League of Legends. I couldn't.
That sounds like a lot. But I might like the show if I don't need the context of the game to enjoy the show.
yeah, I didn't have any idea.
I liked The Witcher.
Okay.
The show.
Yeah.
Never played the game. Know nothing about the game.
Haven't seen or played that one.
Yeah.
The thing with League of Legends that's great is that if you do really like the show and want to get into gaming, they do have, like I said, some spin-off games that are a lot easier to get into, and I would definitely recommend for a new gamer, like U2XKO. You know,
I will check that out because I like fighting games, and that's going to be a 2v2 fighting game when that comes out. But like, I did like the show, but it didn't make me want to play the game per se because I need to be like hands-on with my character, like because that game is more like a point and click, and then they do what you tell them to do. They kind of just march in the direction you point them in, and then like they start. But like I like to feel like it's me executing the moves. Like,
Well, like I said, lots of spin-offs. They got the fighting game. They have like 2 just story games, single-player story games that you can just play through. They've got a card game like Hearthstone. So if you like Hearthstone or like card games like Pokemon, like the physical cards, you can try that.
Yeah.
They've also got Wild Rift, not Wild Rift, TFT. They have Wild Rift, but that's the same thing. No, I'm not making any sense saying one right now. TFT, that one's huge. That one's I think actually somehow bigger than League, but they don't release the numbers for it for some reason, so we don't actually know for sure. But it's absolutely massive. It's a strategy game where you build a team, and then they just battle the opponent's team automatically. You have no control after you've put them on the board. And then you're supposed to build a team comp that you put your tanks in the front, damage in the back kind of thing, and then try to win. And that one's a huge game. So
this is all
it's very
Greek
easy to
me,
get
Marcel.
into. Anyways, I'm just saying.
Look,
even
Marcel,
if you don't like,
you're obviously a man that contains multitudes. All right, I'm not. There's no denying that. If you had to pick one thing that's like your thing, though, do you think games would be it?
I don't know.
Like, are you a pretty avid gamer? I mean, you got this beast over here.
That's
not for the faint of heart.
It's really not that big of a deal. I mean, I would say I'm a pretty big gamer. I don't know if my main thing.
You clearly know a lot about it.
I know a lot about League.
It's amazing to me because I know it's a huge industry.
Yeah.
millions of fans worldwide. But I think in the way that like so many pockets of pop culture are like so fragmented in this digital age that we live in.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to me. Like I don't know who any of the famous like streamers are. I know there are.
Well, have you heard of Ludwig? Or
Never
Ninja?
heard of- No, Ninja sounds familiar.
Okay, Ninja.
But I know
thought
nothing
he was
about
big
these
from
people.
Fortnite though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I know
I don't
nothing about
watch
these
it.
people.
Oh.
I know that they have millions of fans. They're huge. They're making like money hand over fist,
Yeah.
endorsement deals, all this stuff. It's crazy, but it's just so amazing how like how if you're not tapped into that world, how you can just be like completely oblivious to it.
Yeah.
And it's the truth. You know, it's easy for me to sit here and criticize you for not knowing who Janet Jackson is, but you know what?
But you
Who
know
am
who
I?
he is,
It's
so,
it's like, but I do feel like there is still, despite how huge gaming is, I think it still hasn't like penetrated the mainstream in a way, because there is still, despite how fragmented so much of culture is, there is still like a mainstream. Like I'm gonna venture to guess you did not have a Brat Summer, Marcel.
A what?
Exactly.
Yes, yeah, you lost me on that one too, though. I don't know.
That's well. I mean, that was in my circles. Brat Summer was huge. Charlie XCX, one of the biggest pop stars on the planet, put out this huge record called Brat.
Oh, okay. So
It was
like,
there were memes about it everywhere, but again, it just depends
way.
on like. And you know what? I think, and this speaks to that groundswell I was talking about with the podcast. It's all about the algorithm, man, and that's why I think RomeBros is getting there. It's gonna get into more. It's in my feed every week, and I always look forward to it.
Subscribe.
Well, no, I see what you're saying. Like, we just gotta wait for that snowball. But like,
Yeah.
music is weird like that. Like, especially even from a rap standpoint anymore. Like, you'll hear about a rapper being murdered before you even hear about their career at all.
Every time.
Like, that's
Every
like,
time.
who even was that kid? And
Every
then you
time.
go back and it's like, damn, they did kind of have some good music.
Yeah.
Sucks they're dead now. And
Yeah.
I'm just, but like,
Yeah, there was one just like
Well,
within
does
the
it
last
suck?
couple
You
weeks.
can still
ago,
listen to
wasn't
their songs.
well,
It's not like when
yeah,
they
but
die,
like,
you
it's,
can't listen
but
anymore.
they're not gonna make any more. And like, usually these are like teenagers, man. You're talking about like maybe one album's worth of music.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's not really like a deep dive's worth. Are you talking about that kid that was in Philadelphia? It was like really like he went on like No Jumper and cussed out like the whole city,
I don't know
like
about that.
and miraculously he's dead next week. Like who thunk it? But
Yeah.
yeah, no, like in this age, it is like you can have millions of fans, but then like there will be millions of people that don't even know you exist.
Mm-hmm.
It's because like I think it is that like we have so much more choice than, you know, say when we were kids and Janet Jackson was popular. Like you had like maybe a fixated set of channels,
Yeah.
but you couldn't also scroll through your phone while while they were on commercial, and then you couldn't also, you know, like have YouTube to just watch whatever you want, or streaming services, you know. So it is really easy to like just have your own little bubble and not, because Charlie XCX, I've heard that name before, but
Yeah.
I didn't.
There's no shared cultural experiences anymore, you know?
No.
We're not all sitting around watching the fucking moon landing, alright?
I
And
feel
it's like,
like if we had a moon landing, we would all
I
I
don't
don't
know.
think I would.
I
I
don't
know.
know.
Especially kids these days, I don't think they would give a fuck, dude.
look like a
Like,
Mars landing. That's like
And
the
it would be
next
all
frontier.
politicized because, like, oh, is it Bezos or Musk or who's putting their fucking
Yeah.
rocket on the moon first? And it's like, can't we all just come together and enjoy this, like, incredible achievement of human innovation? I don't think we can. Except RomeBros bridging the gap. And I think that there's a generational divide, too, and that's why there's so many gaps in knowledge here. But you guys are really meeting in the middle, and I think it's a beautiful thing. I do want to say, I like how, Darius, you start every episode with a little quip. You got like kind of your taglines.
I try.
And I had some.
Fuck everyone with philosophy.
Yeah, that's what's basically.
You're like philosophize between your thighs or whatever. the fuck you say.
I freaking hate
Yeah.
this so much.
But like, Marcel squirms a little every time you say it.
Weird.
That's part of the joy of it, man.
Yeah. How about RomeBros? We're gonna fuck you with our knowledge dicks. That's the one we had.
I think that's the title of this episode. I don't think we're gonna talk.
I don't know how many
Right, hold on,
feeds.
Brett, put it in the Discord.
Okay, we're gonna fuck you with our knowledge.
Or you could say that, and then you could be like, you know. Remember? I'm sure you probably got this a bit. Marcel is a unique name, but there was that movie Marcel the Shell with the adorable little animated shell.
Did not see it.
Yeah, it was cute, you know, whatever. But you could be like Marcel the Shell of a human being. No, really, I'm a sociopath. I thought that might be a cute little line.
Shell of a human being.
Of a human being.
That's a good one. I like that.
But so do you? Okay, look. Is this audio? Is there an audio only version of this as well, or is it strictly YouTube? Okay.
I mean, you could just play it on YouTube and just
sure.
Not look at it, which I know.
When you upload episodes, does it ask you like what category it is, like what genre you consider it?
Yeah, I think I put it in the podcast category.
Okay. Does it go? Does it get any more like granular than that? Like, is there a philosophy?
I'd have
tag,
to check. I don't remember. I said it, a year ago, and I haven't changed it.
Gotcha.
So.
Yeah. Now, do you consider philosophy the main theme of this show, or is it more just like two guys just fucking riffing?
I mean, it's mostly just two guys fucking riffing, but
yeah.
we do try to, at least link it a little bit to philosophy.
Okay. How about the trolley problem? What do we think about that?
Okay, that's a great one. Are you aware of the trolley problem? Okay, so the trolley problem is a classic philosophy question. It states if you have a trolley and it's coming to a fork in the road, and on its current trajectory, it's going to run over 3 people. They're tied to the track. They're going to fucking die.
Okay.
But you're standing there at the lever at the T. You could pull the lever to redirect the trolley to murder just one person.
Okay.
Do you pull the lever?
Yeah!
Okay, that's the question. Some people would not pull the lever because they don't want to have murder on their conscience.
Exactly. Because
they don't want to make an action to cause them to be
Oh,
murdered.
I see. Because then, you're definitely responsible for this one person's. But then, so you're willing to let 2 people die just so you can have it? I think
some people are. I would definitely pull the lever for sure.
Yeah, dude.
But then the question becomes, right, okay, let's say it's very, very close, right? You've got 99 people on the top track and 100 people on the bottom track, right? So if you pull the lever, you're only saving 1 person, but you're still killing 99 people. Mm-hmm. You pulling that lever?
Yeah.
Still pulling it? Right.
Yeah, because then if not, I let 100 people die.
If you do, you're killing 99 people.
That's less than 100.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, I would.
Yeah. It comes down to simple math for Darius.
Yeah, I'm a simple guy, man.
I imagine I would pull
if,
this.
Okay,
it's tough to say. Really.
Here's another one. Yeah, I mean, there's so many different variations of the trolley problem. I know there's I know you're not a gamer, but there's games out there where they just go through like crazy, absolutely wild things around the trolley problem. What if you got like 20 dogs on the bottom path where it's going and 1 person at the top? You pull it to kill 1 person to save 20 dogs?
You probably, you'll probably.
Should we ask Nicole? I know what she would say.
You'll have to ask me that question when I'm by myself.
Okay, what if you got a baby on the bottom and a 60-year-old man on the top?
Oh, the 6-year-old. He's out of here.
You're pulling the lever to kill. You're not saving any additional lives.
Yeah, no, he's out of here.
Okay.
Yeah. The baby.
But if you consider the length of life, it's more life.
Yeah,
you're saving.
Yeah.
What if the baby, dies in a horrific car accident 5 years later?
Well, I mean, that's between the baby. That's between the baby and God. But if I'm sitting there and I don't do anything, a baby's gonna die. Old man's out of here.
I think this opens up. It's not only philosophical. Obviously, there are some ethical questions.
Yeah.
I think it also we have to examine. There's a certain spiritual component too, because you got to think. Like if you just think they're like, I'm a bit of a nihilist. Yeah. And I don't know if I necessarily believe in like any sort of
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
including like any sort of afterlife or anything.
Yeah.
I'd like to, but it's like okay, it's like whatever. Like this person's not even gonna know that they're dead. So. So that I got.
They're gonna watch the train coming. They're gonna see you pull the lever.
Yeah.
Like, nah!
Yeah. I mean, and of course, you don't have time to really examine all that. I think it really just comes down to whatever you do in the spur of the moment. You won't have a lot of time if you were actually in this scenario.
I did watch an experiment where they actually put people in that scenario.
Oh.
It was all fake. No one was actually in any danger.
This must have been in Japan or some shit, right?
I don't know. I think it was in America.
That does sound like something they do.
They took people into a thing, and it was like a tour. They were just going to show people how the railroads worked, right? Mm-hmm. And so they took them into a room. They showed them, hey, when I pull this lever, the train goes this way. When I don't pull it, it goes this way, right? Then the person who was connecting it left the room for a second and left the person in there, and then they saw a train coming that was going to hit 1 person or hit 3 people, or they could pull the lever and make it just hit 1. And not everyone pulled the lever.
Wow.
So, of course, they only had like a split second to make the decision.
Yeah.
If you had more time, you knew what was happening. Obviously, you may think about it more and pull the lever more frequently. But yeah, not everyone.
Oh yeah, man.
Wild.
I feel like that's the type of shit that would keep me up at night. You could have.
Yeah. So that's a great one. That's a great philosophy question right there.
Damn. Well, hey, comment down below.
Yeah, are you a murderer? You murdering one to save three.
Yeah.
Or do you just like pulling levers? Sometimes it's just hard to resist.
Well,
You
that
know?
was
You
another-
might not have even noticed the people on the track. You just see a shiny lever and you want to pull it.
Well, in the video game that has the ridiculous things I was telling you about, they have a situation where there's just no one on the tracks at all, and just you and the lever. It's just when you pull it, there's no consequence
I like
at
that.
all. or
That's
you pull
nice.
it.
That's kind of that's my approach to life. I'm just pulling levers left and right. And if there's someone on the tracks, whatever.
Man.
Can we talk about this "Let the Good Times Roll" thing, and then we'll get back into philosophy?
Yeah, no,
So Let the Good Times Roll
Yeah.
there was a song that
Mhm.
was Let the Good Times Roll, but it was more of like a movement in the New Orleans area. That song came out and people just resonated with people.
Yeah.
And it also, they have a French, did my dad say that on the podcast? I'm not sure. The French, which
Yeah, there's
New
a
Orleans
French
is very
saying.
French.
Oh
there's
yeah,
a
your
French
dad's great,
saying.
by the way. That was another favorite episode
Yeah,
of mine
man.
too, when you guys were like playing Jeopardy and stuff.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that a lot. I
That
forgot
was
about
fun.
that one. Yeah.
That's my favorite
That
episode.
one's
The
great.
Jeopardy episode.
Yeah.
I'll have to maybe look up what the phrase is, but there's a phrase in French that equates.
Is it that
to
song? It's like
Let the Good Times Roll.
they'll because there are several songs with that title,
Yeah.
and it sounds like what you're describing is maybe
Right.
it's like an old what they call jump blues, which is like, come on baby, let the good times roll.
Yeah,
Come on baby, let the good times roll.
Okay.
That song? Yeah, I think Harry Nilsson did a cover of it in the 70s. Anyway,
That'd
what
be
I
sick.
what I found amusing about that conversation was then you were like, you mentioned "Let the Good Times Roll." You left it very unresolved, and then me and all the viewers at home were like, "Which song is it? Who sang it?" I think you said it on like Louis Jordan or something.
Yeah.
I think we have
It was at the open of the very next episode, is what it was. I think that we ended up
I
being
could have
like,
sworn
by the
we
way,
included it in there somewhere.
I think that's how we
Okay.
we tried to resolve it. Anyway.
What I found so amusing was Marcel was like, who was it? Like the two people he threw out as a possibility of singing it were Jimi Hendrix and Bob Marley. Which for me begs the question: what do you think reggae music is? First of all,
Look, man. Okay, the reason. Let me explain to you the reason.
because Bob Marley had a very distinct sound,
Okay,
Yeah.
as did Hendrix.
Both Bob Marley and Jimi Hendrix are musicians my dad loved.
Okay,
And the phrase "Let the Good Times Roll" is from New Orleans, where my dad grew up.
gotcha.
So I
gotcha.
associate
Okay.
"Let the Good Times Roll"
That
with
makes
my
sense.
dad, and I associate my dad
Sure.
with Jimi Hendrix and that. So
All right.
This is
Well,
the-
but-
See, these are the deep probing, like thoughts that I want to know because I'm so intrigued by some of the things you say.
He quotes Bob Marley all the time.
Do you?
But like not knowing that.
Not
he's
no.
quoting
Yeah,
Bob Marley.
You're saying it's
Yeah.
some insightful shit your dad said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like, you know
what,
I'm
Marcel?
saying.
No woman, no cry.
Verbatim. That happened in real life. I don't remember the context, but we'll remember back one day you did. You're like, man, no woman, no cry. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, are you doing this on
That is
purpose now?
hilarious.
Like,
Oh, that's
yeah,
too
man,
funny.
I just I'd hear the songs growing up.
Yeah.
My dad would always reference them, and
Because then I remember one of my favorite songs growing up was by a band called The Cars, and it was also
is that
called
different than the
Good Times.
Trucks?
Different than the Trucks. Well, it depends. I mean, they're all. I don't know. It depends on who you ask, I guess. I don't work in the automotive industry. I don't know if there's like strict criteria for what is a car, what is a truck.
Yeah.
But there's
Oh, yeah.
there are no diesel engines involved. I can tell you that much.
Okay.
But
What a shame.
huge band from Boston. Peaked in the 80s, certainly, but had long, fruitful careers after that in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But they had a great song called "Let the Good Times Roll," which was a big hit in the 80s. And so I thought, oh man, maybe Marcel's referencing that. But then when you mentioned Bob Marley, Jimi Hendrix, I was like, okay, it could be because these guys, because they're
pretty far away.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a movement in New Orleans.
Gotcha.
There was like in the French saying, like,
Sure.
I got it here. I'll play it.
It's very.
I can't.
It's like kind of
I can't speak
an old
French.
Creole saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is that not the coolest fucking accent, man? It's
pretty
an
cool.
Old fucking.
I'll play it.
I can't say
it. Hello?
But,
Fuck you. It was doing it earlier. You
All right, let's
piece of
cut to a
shit.
clip.
Editor, you know what to do. Just
Oh.
working.
oh man, that's gonna be loud.
It was just working. I'm so mad.
Pierre's like, you already know they don't have an editor. Shut up. I'm sorry, Pierre.
Okay, here we
All right,
go.
there.
Laissez les bons temps rouler.
That's Let the Good Times Roll in
Totally.
French, and that was just
Cool.
a movement in New Orleans back in the long time ago.
Yeah. Speaking of time, where are we at?
We got time. We got 15 minutes still.
Okay. All right.
Man, this flew
And
by.
then an hour
Yeah,
after
that's-
that.
yeah.
So,
What? I recommend to all the viewers out there, be a guest on the podcast.
yeah. Like I said, hey,
It's-
email in the description.
It's
Let us,
fun. And it just flew, time flies when you're having
Let us know.
fun.
We're happy to have you on.
Well, I mean, some of the, I guess we could like revisit some of the questions. So, okay, in your guys' opinion, like, did we discuss?
Let's ask him the ice skate question.
Okay.
Any comments down below?
All right.
That's
Yeah. So, if you had to pick ice skates for the rest of your life or mittens for the rest of your life,
Mittens.
And these are like the 2 fingy.
yeah, not the
mittens. You
full
don't get the glove. It's the mitten.
mittens.
You can't take them off
Ever.
again.
Ever.
I mean, it's an easy choice for me because I don't know how to ice skate. I guess I would learn,
Yeah,
but then I could move to like Antarctica.
well, but then, yeah, what if there's no ice? Then you're just kind of like trudging
Yeah.
around in grass.
Yeah, like you can't really use a phone ever again. You
Yeah.
can't ever probably jack off.
Well, I mean, you
Yeah.
could, but
Yeah.
Not
It
very
might,
well.
it might put an interesting
Yeah.
new spin on
Yeah,
it.
that's
Maybe
what-
it
yeah.
would. Maybe it would.
but I mean, the cleanup would be.
You can't ever
difficult.
finger your wife, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, bother.
The biggest
yeah, that's a good
drawback
call.
for me, if you're wearing mittens forever, is like taking a dump and then you gotta wipe your ass.
Yeah, how are you going to win?
I got a bidet. I don't gotta worry about that. I think you guys are barbaric
I'm just
for still
saying,
wiping your
I
ass.
No, I still want. We have a
Insane
bidet.
to me that
I've been told that the bidet you still have to wipe
Yeah,
afterwards.
because you gotta dry off
it's
a little
it's
bit.
if you're a little wet, yeah, but that's.
So you're just going to have wet
It-
ass?
you're more
for the rest
like
of your life?
it's more of a simple dab
Yeah.
than it is a wipe.
I still feel like a dab would be
You
hard.
don't even need to go like in between. You can just, it's more surface level kind of clean.
I still feel like a dab is going to be hard with a mitt.
You're
though.
French.
Yeah.
Get a bidet. You guys invented the bidet. Come on. Where's your French
Let's not say
pride?
you guys. My name is French. I'm not actually from France.
New Orleans. You know, French.
I'm
has
not
a rich-
from New Orleans. My
Okay.
dad.
Okay,
He's
but it's in your blood.
He's from the tribe, man.
in your blood.
My dad's.
He's a-
It's too complicated. I'm not French or Jewish. I know you're going to say I'm not.
That's what I was getting at. I thought you. No, you are of Jewish descent.
I'm not.
Aren't you?
Okay, my dad's side of the family is Jewish,
Okay.
but Judaism is passed down through the mother. Okay, so
Oh.
technically I'm not
See, the
shit.
fact that you know that, you're a fucking Jew, bro. I'm sorry. All right, that's like some straight out of the Torah shit. I don't know. I didn't know any of that.
Of course, I know this stuff. My dad's side of the family is Jewish.
So there's a certain. I think some of it's cultural though as well. Like, did you grow up with it? Did you celebrate Hanukkah at all?
I did celebrate.
There you
Hanukkah.
go.
In addition,
Sorry,
to
buddy. You're a Jew. You fucking French Jew.
Editor, cut that out. I can't let Jennifer hear that.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't hear
What? It's
that.
bad. I know it sounds bad. Look, there are certain words like Jew sounds bad, but that's what they are.
Yeah.
No,
I think it's the connotation.
Our marketing.
What do you call? What do you
team-
call? What do you call? Oh, she's Jewish. She's a
No,
Jew?
No,
she. It's an
teases
ongoing
him. Yeah,
joke
she teases
that
him
she-
about
Oh,
being
then she's
Jewish.
gonna love it.
Yeah.
Turn up the audio a little.
No.
Add subtitles.
Editor, cut
Make
it
sure
out.
there's no misunderstanding of when I call Marcel a French Jew.
Not for the record, not a Jew or French. Not either one of those things. I'm not both either.
Well, what do you see? I don't have a very strong connection to like my ancestral heritage, and I feel like, I feel a little lost without it. And I think
Why?
I don't know, because I wish I did. Darius, obviously, powerful black man. All right, he's got that black boy magic, and I got nothing. I got nothing like that. I'm just some pasty blank slate white boy. So what I'm saying is, Marcel, you've got these cultural touchstones in place that you grew up with. Like, embrace them. I don't know why you're. I mean, I think that's a very Jewish thing, is to be kind of self-deprecating too. So
Yeah,
I get
that's
it.
on theme. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's on brand.
If it makes you feel any better, though, man, like the entirety of my life, most black people tell me I'm doing it wrong. So like, I don't really feel very,
Yeah. Do they give you specific notes for where you can improve?
Yeah, dude. I
Do they
remember.
really?
Yeah,
They
man.
do.
Not physical notes, but I get notes. But I'll never forget. I was working at Taco Bell one time, and this older black gentleman asked me to borrow a cigarette.
Yeah.
And I handed him my
Borrow?
cigarette. He asked me if he could have a cigarette.
Okay.
and I handed him.
Give it back.
I handed him my pack of Marlboro Reds.
Oh no.
He looked like I let all of us down.
He was expecting a menthol.
Yeah, he was like, "What the fuck are y'all doing?" Y'all, that's how you know you're really fucking up, when it's like your whole generation is setting us back, dude. I was like,
man,
dude,
that's
I'm
funny.
sorry, man.
So like, are these just cigarettes like Bitch Boy cigarettes or something?
Well, they weren't menthol, and like,
Is menthol?
Menthol
black
cigarettes
or
have
something?
a long tradition in the black community.
yeah,
Okay.
Mhm.
yeah.
As someone who's never smoked,
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
no idea what the difference between menthol and what would be the opposite.
I honestly don't
non-menthol.
either. In which I've made the switch, like, because I used to get shit for it too when I like moved back to St. Robert for a while, and I was hanging out with So,
He still took the cigarette though, right?
oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. So what was this guy's name?
I don't even remember.
Look,
It
if
was
you're
like-
ever in the, I'm sure he's a successful, Taco Bell corporate by now. But look, if you're out there watching, okay, first of all, it'd be great if we could get a Taco Bell sponsorship.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
would not eat it, but I'm sure.
If it's
Oh,
not
yeah,
already
yeah.
evident, these guys live Moss. But also, you owe Darius an apology.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I think we need to.
Oh,
I think we need to
shit.
fire our old marketing team and hire this man.
Yeah, I mean-
I think he's got it. I think he's gonna get us those sponsorships we need.
Glad.
Yeah, that was
Oh, man.
very seamless. Like,
Not an ad, by the way, but please do sponsor us.
yeah,
I love it.
man, I'll eat a fucking burrito at the open of each.
Where would you
episode.
guys draw the line as far as sponsorships go? Are there certain products you would refuse to endorse?
Oh shit.
I mean,
Um,
considering you do ask the important philosophical, ethical questions here.
I mean, I feel like pretty much any product that just has a controversy around it, I probably wouldn't
Mhm.
endorse until it's died down.
Yeah, so probably not like what Prime, the like all shit. Like that's probably the
Yeah.
one I would say.
What about like online sports betting? Those are big.
See,
sponsors
we were
of them.
talking about that in the
Yeah.
car the other day. I don't think anything gambling
Uh-huh.
or drug related. I think I would probably draw a line there.
Yeah.
Probably as much to the dismay of
But see,
Big D,
you get well because
but I can't in good
you
conscience
like
recommend those
you
things.
consider like soda drugs though, yeah.
Oh,
You know, I consider caffeine, which is a drug, to be a drug.
sure.
Although I
I'm
don't
sorry
have a
if
problem with
I-
coffee drinkers.
I'm so wired right
Yeah.
now.
We can tell.
You must feel like you're in a fucking like flop house here.
Look.
Like we're all tying off in the corner,
Look,
just riding the brown serpent.
don't say proud.
Okay, I think that might.
No,
be
coffee. I would endorse coffee. I would just say, if you're going to do caffeine,
Yeah.
make sure you're using it for its benefit and not just overdoing it.
Mm-hmm.
I probably put a caveat in there. I don't know if they wouldn't want to sponsor me if I put that in there, but I would be fine sponsoring coffee as long as they allow me to.
As long as it's decaf.
No, just as long as I can put a disclaimer in there to say drink responsibly.
Wow. I mean, I think that's very noble, Marcel. So you're one of these my body is a temple guys then, huh?
No, I've growing up, I was put on a lot of drugs to deal with my
I see.
mental issues that my mom believed that I had, and I just found I just feel a hell of a lot better.
Sure.
Not on any drugs at all. So.
Yeah. No, I get that. I mean, I'm almost 12 years sober, and caffeine. Thank you, I appreciate that. Caffeine is kind of my only vice really these days. I do overdo it a bit, and I know I'll need to taper off eventually. But no, I totally respect that, especially if I think that people are often too quick to maybe medicate themselves when there are other lifestyle changes that can be made that could certainly help. And so if you had to deal with that as a child, I can imagine being turned off from it. What about as far as your diet goes? Because I've heard you talk a little bit about this, and I'm intrigued. I'd like to hear more about the Hawaiian Thai, the best calamari you ever had at this Hawaiian Thai place. I think that's very interesting. Calamari, of course, famously Italian dish, right there, Ryan. But yeah,
You did it again.
It's not Italian.
calamari. Listen to the word.
I'm pretty sure it's Japanese.
Calamari.
It's squid. There's no way that's Italian.
Other cultures enjoy squid. I
Well,
mean,
no, because you can get
but the
calamari
name
at the Olive
calamari
Garden.
is going to be.
they probably do have their own version of fried squid. I suppose. That's probably true.
You can
calamari
get-
origin.
You can definitely get it at the Olive Garden though, and that's
Mhm.
Okay, you know what?
American
I'm
Italian.
wrong.
Oh,
It
shit.
originated in Italy.
Oh shit!
But hey, I mean, yes, obviously squid enjoyed very much by Far East cultures.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm getting off track here. Do you obviously you don't have an aversion to fried food?
No.
Right. Okay. So yeah, it's more just like any kind of mood altering substance, though. You kind of
Anything that changes the chemistry in your brain.
Yeah, makes sense.
I am not a fan of.
Yeah, I respect that. I do.
I like to party.
And we respect that too, man.
I just like to keep. I like to keep my. I really value more than ever before, like having my wits about me at all times.
Yeah.
Because I think back again as a recovering alcoholic, like there were so many times when I was just like completely blackout drunk, and
I guess that'd be scary.
and even like thankfully I never wound up in any really truly dire situations. You know, just it was scary waking up the next morning and not knowing exactly what happened the night before. And so now I don't ever take that for granted. Just like always having a clear head, having my wits about me. And I think I like to be in that position when I'm around other people. I would never ever criticize anyone for doing whatever they want to do, and I like knowing that I'm there to help them if shit does go down.
Yeah.
You know, that they can depend on me to like drive them home or bail them out or whatever I might need to do. So I think that there's that's something that needs to be appreciated more. If that's the path you've chosen to take, and it sounds like Marcel does appreciate that, and I respect that.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do drugs and stuff, and you think that they're improving your life, you know, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I just found that they did not improve my life whatsoever. My life was much better without them. But I do want to ask, you know, you said you're a recovering alcoholic. How did you get out of that? That's crazy to me. I've heard a lot of people, you know,
it was a
struggle
challenge.
with that.
Yeah, it was tough, and there were definitely times where I tried to kind of like white knuckle it and just like by the skin of my teeth, just like go cold turkey, and that never stuck. I would go for maybe like a few weeks at a time, and then finally it was just going to AA, just like finally sucking it up and going to a meeting, and it just kind of clicked, and you know, because their whole thing is like you get to the root of the like why you drink. It's not necessarily about just not drinking. It's like trying to sort of uncover the reasons why, and I still see a lot of that in other facets of my life, like that. I think it's that same part of my brain that, you know, is the reason why I used to binge drink, and now I will like binge eat, and that's something that I try to kind of manage. You know, I've had a tough time with that, and I do have a generally fairly healthy diet, but it still can be like too much at times, you know.
Well,
portion control is a little hard sometimes for me.
Not being the most religious guy, did you find it hard to buy into AA?
That was a big. That was a big part of the reason why I didn't go. Yeah, it was a big part of the reason why I didn't go for so long, because I was like sure that I wasn't going to jive with that aspect of it. And thankfully, living in a city as big as Chicago, there are there's a lot of different types of meetings. There's meetings happening every hour of every day all over that city, and so you just find some of them lean more heavily into the like religious components, and others don't. And like they have a very loose definition of like, you know, the higher power. So I just found the meetings that kind of worked with my own beliefs, and I still got a lot out of it. And I think had I tried to do it in a smaller town, it would have been a little more difficult, because I do think that there's a much
I thought like
religious influence.
I had no idea. I didn't realize that was so religious.
Yeah, you watch a TV show or a movie, usually the AA meetings are in a church.
I mean, I don't watch too many TV shows or movies, but I cannot recall an AA meeting that I've seen that was in a church. Usually they're just like in a weird...
Isn't their motto, let go, let God? Isn't that kind of an AA saying?
I thought it's something that ends in and accepts the things we can't.
Oh yeah, I mean you say the serenity, what they call the serenity prayer, at either the beginning or the end of every meeting. So yeah, you go, you know, there's like you go through the motions. There's like, but they become just like mantras more than anything else.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean,
it's
the
like
serenity prayer,
you kind
don't have to be religious to follow that.
You kind of divorce it from any sort of like dogmatic religious aspect, and you just kind of like, you know, you realize how. Okay, so here's an example I like to use. There's part of what they call the Big Book, which is like the AA book, and there's a part where it talks about how like, you know, everyone wants, because a big part of it is like turning yourself over to your higher power and admitting you're powerless over alcohol and what have you. and that's a big part of it. Like, yeah, you gotta just kind of like get the fuck over yourself and realize you're not gonna be able to do this on your own. And I mean, some people can, and that's great. But like, you know, if you're desperate enough to go to a meeting, chances are you need a little help. And it's like, you know, you can't. Everybody thinks they're the star of their own play, and they're like, they think that they're in control of everything. They're directing, they're doing the lighting, they're like, but you're constantly on this collision course with everyone else. As much as you want to try to control everything happening in your own life, you can't control how other people are going to react to it.
Yeah.
And to me, that was sort of like the equivalent of like people who are like, oh, you know, it's just like everything happens for a reason, or it's like it's all part of God's plan.
Leave it in God's hands.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
To me, it's the same thing. It's like it doesn't matter. Despite my best intentions, I can, you know, control my reaction to things and how I behave and react in certain situations, but I'm still at the mercy of like everyone around me.
Yeah.
And I can't control that no matter how much I'd like to. And to me, that's the same as just like admitting that I'm powerless and that I have to hand it over to this higher power. So once that clicked for me, I was like, all right, yeah, I'm in. Let's do this. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, and the steps, you know, the 12, you hear about the 12 steps. That's a big part of it.
So do they just have like where does the staircase lead? Like,
I mean, it's constant maintenance. It doesn't. It doesn't end. Oh, you mean the staircase leading up to heaven?
I was
to the
thinking
pearly gates?
at the AA meetings they just have a staircase that has 12 steps.
The 12, you're thinking of a a staircase.
Yes,
yeah.
I was making
Gotcha.
hilarious
Now we're even.
reference.
Now we're even. You didn't get the little guitar thing. I didn't get the staircase.
But you got it though.
I knew as soon as you started talking, I was like,
So good.
yeah.
damn.
But the metaphorical staircase never ends, brother.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So they should just change it to be the infinite staircase.
Yeah, they should.
The
They don't
12
tell you that when you start, but it kind of
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Starts out as 12 steps, and then you're on an escalator.
Yeah.
Are you? Would you say it's an escalator?
Well, no, because eventually
If you're doing it right, it's a hell of a ride. Anyway, I'm on vacation, so let's do some shots. All right.
Wait a minute, I thought you
Yeah.
were sober.
He's joking.
Okay. Well, good. Hey, if you're alcoholic and you're looking for help, join an AA meeting. It worked for this gentleman here. It
Give it a
might
shot.
work for you.
I'm not going to sponsor you or anything. But
They're free, right? Presumably.
Oh yeah. I mean, they pass around the basket, but you don't have to. You don't have to put any money in it.
They do a collection plate,
Oh, yeah.
really?
Yeah, yeah.
Go seek help, man. Well, they have to. The person who's
yeah,
running
yeah.
has got to get paid.
No. That's the people running it don't. It's just to like. It's so they can keep the meetings going because they got like pay for the
Yeah, they gotta pay for
spaces.
some
and,
space.
yeah, I mean, and there's like
Bagels and shit.
the books and stuff, and yeah, there's. I'll tell you, the caffeine addiction really ramped up when I started going to AA. and they like a lot of them chain smoke. I was never a smoker, but like cigarettes and coffee very big in the sober community. But you know, better than the alternative for sure.
Definitely.
All right. Well, I think we're at about time here. I guess we'll have to touch on my food issues for calamari in the next episode.
Dang it.
So stay tuned next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to come back in like a year. Write down the video games for me that I need to play. All right.
Well, you haven't
Baldur's
touched
Gate
video
or
games.
whatever.
No,
That's
you
I
didn't.
didn't dig Baldur's Gate.
Don't play
personally.
Baldur's Gate. I mean,
I personally didn't.
you enjoyed the fighting game, right? I see I'm not into the fighting game scene.
I don't know. I mean, I like the wrestling games, but
Yeah.
again, that was because I liked wrestling. I think more than anything else. I enjoy it kind of. Okay, I'm sorry. I know we're going over time.
That's
We'll
fine.
the editor will cut all this out.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding when I say like the Nintendo 64 was the last console that I owned, and that was probably before you were even born, Marcel.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
likely.
it was so my favorite games then were I did enjoy the wrestling games for sure. I liked. Would they be considered? I guess like platformers like Mario. Was
Mario
kind of
64.
platformer, right?
Yeah.
Mario 64.
Well, that was more like open world, but like the old school Mario stuff. Because like Sega Genesis is probably my favorite console of all time. Streets of Rage, that's my favorite game. Streets of Rage 2, favorite game. That's a side-scrolling action platformer. Am I using the terminology correct?
Yeah.
Beat 'em ups.
Yeah.
Beat 'em ups are my favorite games.
Yeah.
If there's any equivalent like that today, I know that like games are much more.
Beat 'em up. Okay.
I mean, or whatever the equivalent. I know games are much more like sophisticated now.
Like a JRPG. That's kind of. I mean, it's not even beat 'em up, but you do like. Well, you kind of walk around. That's kind of 3D.
But there is a version. I don't know if it was on the PlayStation 4, but there is a newer Streets of Rage.
Is there?
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, we can play Streets of Rage.
Awesome.
We can all play Streets of Rage.
Dude, let's do it.
Our fucking.
Is that online? He can be in wherever he's at, Illinois, and still play with us. All right.
What kind of console do I need? Is this a?
Oh well, yeah.
Or just a computer, hopefully.
Well, I would have to either get a computer and play with you guys that way, or
It's
you
not
guys
cross.
would have to get a.
I
don't
you're,
know.
You're
Yeah.
a console dude.
Yeah.
You're a computer guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, we're bridging
and
all
look at
the
that!
gaps,
Look at
man.
that! This is amazing. If
I mean, I was a
if
console
they can
gamer
work it
growing
out.
up. I want to be very clear. I was an Xbox boy growing up.
Gotcha.
Oh wow.
Moved over to PC when
Bill Gates is your boy.
we moved out of
Yeah.
college. Yeah.
That's honestly, I at some point I do want to make the jump to be.
That's hardcore, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always kind of viewed it as being like you got to be a hardcore gamer.
Well,
to
they
do
just
that.
they have so many more options.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
more
As far-
options,
as
and
far as
there's
games.
no downside because you can still use a controller on PC.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just gotta usually buy a special one.
And then I mean, if you don't mind pirating, you can play all the console games.
we don't endorse
Come in,
crime.
yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, bleep
We're
that.
gonna have to move over to
It's
Kick
good
if
thing
we
the
keep
editor
talking about
already
this
cut this
kind
out.
of stuff.
All right,
Yikes.
well, folks, we're a bit over time.
You want to do the
You want to say the
honorable
philosophy or
Yeah.
the dog part?
Oh God, I forgot this was
How do
part
you
of
forget
it.
about that? This is our whole thing.
I'm just so excited to be here, you guys. Thank you so much. I'm trying to drive home the philosophy theme. So
All right.
let's-
Okay.
yeah.
So then, as always, dog jump off bed.
Say it.
Wait,
Philosophy.
philosophy. I'm sorry. I don't make it to the end of every
Well,
episode.